Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight is Monday Night Raw. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw does go, I thought tonight's show was a good show, a pretty good show. I wouldn't call it great. I wouldn't say it was great, because there was kind of some just whatever stuff on this show as well, and some random things on the show. But I will say it was really good. It was enjoyable. There's been weeks recently where I'm like, damn, these are some great shows. But this one, if we're giving other shows like 8.5s and stuff, this one maybe like 7.5 to an 8. Still really, really, really good. And hey, guess what? You see it. You got him. He's right here. You've been asking where the hell's Luke? Luke's back. He finished up some school stuff for the remainder of the year, and he's back. Luke, how you doing, bud?
Just glad to be back. Finals are over, thankfully. But right now, I'm just kind of playing the waiting game to see what the rest of my grades are like. I mean, got 2 grades back, doing pretty good right now. So just glad school is done for the semester. I'm on Christmas break now, which is a good thing. I've loved Christmas break ever since I was a kid. Just back home right now, visiting some family for a month. So yeah, I'm just glad to be back. I'm here to talk some Raw.
Hell yeah. So you say your break's a month?
Yeah, it's a month.
I'm trying to think. My kids have 2.5 weeks. So about half a week you got. Because they get the week. Hold on. Let me look at a calendar real fast. They have no. Yeah, 2 full. So they have the week of Christmas, then the next week, then a Monday off, and they go back on the 7th. So yeah, they only get starting next Monday. And then, yeah, they get 2 weeks and a day for their break.
Interesting.
Yeah. I remember when I was in school, we would get 3 weeks. Some weeks. It depended. It depended because I went to 2 different school districts, because where we lived, there was one school district where we had the elementary school, and then the other school district where the high school was 30, 45 minutes away. And like those old people always say, we had to go uphill both ways to get to school. We did. I did. Because I lived in the mountains. And in December, it would snow. December and January. I remember one year we got stuck to where we couldn't leave school because the top of the mountain, because you literally, to go into town, you have to go up a mountain both ways. And then you go down to get into town, go down to leave town. And the top of the mountain snowed in to where no cars can go up it. It was like, crap. We were stuck at school.
Probably get a lot of snow days, at least for the kids.
We didn't know. It would snow like really, like snow enough to close the roads once or twice for the year. And we would just hope that it was while we're in school, so we get like a snow day. Half the time it was when we were on winter break at the end of December, first week of January. But there was one time where it snowed really bad while we were at school, and we got snowed in town. So it's like, we can't even go home now.
I remember whenever I lived in the dorms, whenever we had snow days, they would cancel classes, but they would still have the dining halls open, so the dining hall staff still had to show up to work in the terrible snow.
I mean, bad for them, good for you. You're still getting fed. I mean, they kind of gotta still feed you.
I know, but it still sucks though, because
oh yeah,
that's kind of because geez, poor dining hall staff.
Right? Now, is it all flat areas, or do they have to go up hills and mountains, or is it just regular city?
It's a regular city, but to get to the dining hall, if they're parking near the dorms, they had to go over those speed bumps.
Oh yeah,
that stop people from speeding.
Right. Yeah, like I said, we literally had to climb mountains to get to school. To where if you just veered too much one way, you're going to tumble down about 100 feet off the side of the mountain. Because we were driving on the side of the road, side of the fucking hills. But hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love growing up in the mountains. Love growing up where I did, secluded from city life and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. So yeah, no, wouldn't change a thing. But as far as this Raw does go, like I said, pretty good episode of Raw that we're going to get to in just a minute. First, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to go help us out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember that if you want to support the channel in another way, you can do so by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. Whether you do so at the $1 tier just to help us out, or you go to like the $5 tier to where you can get cool emotes you can use in the live chat, or starting at the beginning of the new year, we're going to do some cool things with, like, I'm going to do some watch-alongs and maybe some early reviews of those watch-alongs. I got some other videos planned that you guys will get early access to and whatnot. So some cool things coming for the $5 tier for members, whether you're here on YouTube or patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And remember, if you're a $5 member, you also get all of our graphics packages as well for our custom pay-per-view graphics. And then finally, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. You know, Fortnite's got a lot of new things right now and like 5 different battle passes. So if you're either getting individual battle passes or you're getting the crew pass to get everything at once, use our code PWUNLIMITED. Go to the shop. It's going to ask you if you have a creator code, and you do. Or if you're getting your V-Bucks through the Epic Game Store, you can put it in there as well. But with all of that, got Monday Night Raw to talk about. Ooh, wait. Oh, they got new. Hey, if you're interested for Fortnite, they got a new gingerbread skin, like a gingerbread man, gingerbread woman with pickaxe and a glider, and some new Lionel Messi stuff. So go over there, check it out. The Winterfest stuff starts on Friday. So that's coming as well. So we're going to get a lot of Christmas themed things in Fortnite too. But as far as Raw does go, pull up the notes here. For some reason they froze. That's one reason. Like, I like using Google Docs, or for some reason, if I let it sit too long without touching it, it freezes up on me a little bit sometimes, and I just got to refresh the page. All right, so as far as Monday Night Raw does go, they show us Judgment Day, Bron Breakker, and Ludwig Kaiser all entering the building. They then give us they say they will give us a medical update on Cody Rhodes after what happened with him. Well, no, they give it to us. No, they give it to us here. I'm trying to think if I wrote this wrong or out of order, But, so we get the medical update on Cody Rhodes. And let me read this to you. Did you hear exactly what kind of injuries Cody suffered? Like, did you hear the verbiage they used?
I remember reading about it first, but I think I forgot what they said.
So let me read this verbatim, and it's not as bad as what they wrote for Jade Cargill and her injury. Now, granted, Cody doesn't have a real injury at all. Jade has a real injury that's pretty serious that they did a storyline injury to cover. But Cody's, they state, quote, earlier today, which was yesterday, it was confirmed that Cody Rhodes suffered cervical swelling and was kept overnight at a local hospital for observation. While x-rays were negative for a fracture, Rhodes has been officially diagnosed with axial compression of the cervical spine, as well as the cervical strain with spasms. So they're making you think that Cody's neck is fucked because that package pile driver. But all I'm going to say, And I don't want to, I don't know if I should say it because it's spoilers for Friday's SmackDown that was filmed last week. Screw it. There's an angle.
I'll take a spoiler.
But some people don't want to hear it, but screw it. There's an angle with Cody and KO on SmackDown this Friday.
Probably going to lead to Survivor Series. No, Royal Rumble.
You think they wait that long? You know, or, and I get it. This is a SmackDown feud. What if it's like the third, like, I heard they want 3 big matches for the Raw Netflix debut. What if it's this, Cody Kevin? What if it's Cody Kevin on Netflix? And I get it, it's a SmackDown feud though. Because here's my rational thinking.
It's a SmackDown feud though.
I know, but so is Roman and Solo, and that's going to be on the first Raw on Netflix. Hear me out.
Yeah,
Hear me out. Cody beats KO clean. Randy Orton shows up. You think Randy's all like, yeah, Cody, you beat the bastard. RKO out of nowhere. Cody, Randy, Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but do we even know when Randy's going to be coming back, though?
Randy can come back at any time because he's not really injured. It's all storyline. They could bring Randy back any moment. Randy's all storyline.
Honestly, I would say that match for SmackDown. The reason why is because you already have one SmackDown feud, Roman versus Solo on that episode of Raw. You don't want to have too many SmackDown stuff on that Raw because you're just going to overshadow the rest of Raw.
I get that, but they also want the biggest names on that first Netflix show. And who's bigger in this company? Unless you're talking Roman and Rock, who else is bigger? Cody. John Cena. Cena will probably be on the show and not wrestle. I think Cena shows up to announce he's in the Rumble. Actually, I'm working on a video. I'm fantasy booking Cena's whole first from that Raw to WrestleMania. So I'm not going to say too much more on what I think could happen.
I'm curious to see who actually wins the Royal Rumble.
You want my prediction now?
I know Cena's the favorite.
You want my prediction now?
Is it going to be Cena?
No. Because
CM Punk?
Yep.
CM Punk challenges Gunther?
Yep. You're giving away the whole storyline of this video I'm working on. No,
I want it to be Gunther versus Seth. I think that would be a better match.
I'll just say it now. I think Cena and Punk are the final 2 in the Rumble. Punk eliminates Cena. Cena then has to go to the chamber. No, I'm wrong. I said I was thinking Seth. No, Punk and Cody. If it's not Punk and Rock, or if it's not Cody Rock, Cody Punk.
That's what I was thinking. Do Cody Punk
and Cena Gunther, because Cena wins the chamber. Just think about it. CM Punk wins the Rumble and picks Cody, who also I think might be moving to Monday Night Raw in the draft or in the window transfer. And then you have Gunther, who would move over to SmackDown in the window transfer. You switch the world champions on January 6th. Anyways, that's another reason why I think you do Cody and KO on Netflix, because Cody is moving to Raw. Anyways, hear me out.
Do you have CM Punk actually beat Cody?
I would, but I don't think they would. I would, but I don't think they would. And again, that is all. I have no clue. That is all up in the air right now because it's all depending on if Rock says I'm doing Mania or not. And I think they want to.
He's gonna do.
Go for it.
I want Rock versus Roman because, like, remember last year that was WWE's original plan, but the fans wanted Cody versus Roman instead. Yep. I think this year they finally go through with it with Rock versus Roman.
Yeah, but my thing is, my fantasy booking right now is Punk beats Cena. Cena then says, I still need to get to WrestleMania and fight for a belt because that was my goal, is to fight for a world title at WrestleMania. So then they've already said, last time in Toronto, Elimination Chamber, Cena will be on the show. Well, how else do you put him on that show? What's a better way to do it? You put Cena in the Elimination Chamber. And since you already have Cody's challenger set with Punk, Gunther needs a challenger. Chamber match for Gunther's title. Cena wins it. That's just my prediction, my fantasy booking. I got a more mapped out. I'm still trying to figure out like little plot holes here and there. That's why I haven't put the video out yet, because I don't want it to just be like a 90-second video of Cena does this and does this and does this and does this. We're done. No, I want to be a little more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Intricate with it. And so it's actually worth someone watching. So I'm working on it. Hopefully I'll have it ready because I think I want to drop it like January 1st or something is my plan. But yeah, I think Punk, because Punk and Rollins we already know it's official January 6th. I think Punk can then move on. Punk said it after he beat Drew in Hell in a Cell. Gunther, I want your world title. Well, instead of Gunther, since Cody is moving to Raw, I think, I don't know. I'm fantasy booking again. Then Punk goes, oh, we got a new guy here with the belt. I loved your father. I'll fight you. And then Gunther's wide open to fight Cena. Because I think Gunther and Cena would actually be better than Cena and Cody, even though Cena and Cody would still be amazing. What would you rather see? Here, I'll leave it up to you. What would you rather see? Cena challenge Gunther or Cena challenge Cody? What match would you rather see? Chat, let us know in the live chat right now. Which would you rather see? Cena challenge Gunther or Cena challenge Cody?
Honestly, I'd say neither.
Really? You don't want... Then what would you have Cena do at Mania?
Hear me out. So, like,
Braun Breaker.
for the Chamber... Actually, no. Well, no. So, what we could... I was going to say... So, Cena gets eliminated from the Rumble, so he goes into the Elimination Chamber to try and earn another title shot at Mania. I think the person who costs him that match...
Right, who eliminates
should be the
him?
one to... Whoever eliminates him should face him at Mania, whether that's Braun Breaker or possibly Randy Orton.
And that is a great thing you do in Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber, just like the Royal Rumble, sets up multiple WrestleMania matches because you have certain eliminations leading to matches. You have certain eliminations in the Rumble, certain eliminations in the Chamber. I mean, that's how they were supposed to get to Gunther and Brock Lesnar at last year's Mania. Gunther was going to eliminate Brock, and then Brock was going to come back for revenge on Gunther. So...
I thought they were going to do Brock versus Dominic, and they were going to have Dominic eliminate Brock in the Rumble and at Elimination Chamber.
No, the plan for Brock Lesnar before the whole Vince blow up was Brock and Gunther WrestleMania 40. That was the original plan.
Championship?
I would assume. I wouldn't think that Gunther would have dropped it beforehand. But yeah, that was the original plan. Brock was going to go into that Royal Rumble with the plan of setting up a Gunther feud for WrestleMania. So, but we'll see how it all plays out. Again, like I said, I think Cena's on that first Raw on Netflix. Says he's in the Rumble, and we're off on the races of his final year.
I'm also curious to see what Cena's final opponent will be at.
That's what
that last episode of Raw or SmackDown.
Well, that's what I'm wondering too. Where is his last match going to be, and who is it against? Is it a pay-per-view? Is it a Raw, a SmackDown, a Saturday night's main event special? And it's the main event. Say it's the December Saturday night's main event, and it's the main event. Cena's last match in the main event on network television. Kind of is the perfect way to go out. The biggest platform possible with the most, and I'm really interested to see the ratings for last Saturday's show. Because if it's as big as we think it could be, 4 million viewers, maybe not, maybe more like 3, 2.5 to 3, maybe. If they get consistently 2.5 million viewers for the Saturday night's main event, if not even 3, I would literally do a Saturday night's main event in December of 2025 for John Cena's last match. Build the entire event around John Cena's last match, whoever it's against, on broadcast television in prime time. You're honestly most likely not going to have more viewers than that. Now, if I'm picking the opponent, I would have said Edge as his final opponent, but he's AEW, so that's not going to happen. So here's my question, and I think I could be wrong here. because I would be like, oh, give it to somebody that is one of Cena's biggest, opponents from the past. And his three biggest are Randy, Edge, and CM Punk. Maybe it's one of them. But knowing Cena,
Kevin Owens
would be great too. But knowing Cena,
because
why? Go for it.
Kevin Owens, he's one of the safest wrestlers in WWE right now, or the safest. And when Kevin Owens debuted on the main roster, his first opponent was Cena.
True. That would make sense there too. I didn't put two and two together on that one. But knowing Cena, I could see Cena wanting to put over a young guy in his final match and give them that rub of, hey, you beat me in my last match. Now, if he faces like an Orton, I think he wins. But if he faces like Carmelo Hayes, I think he wins. Or I think Hayes wins.
Oh, do you know what I just thought of that?
Go for it.
When Carmelo Hayes debuted in NXT, when he debuted against Adam Cole, he was like ruthless aggression.
Trust me, I've got a whole thing I'm working on with Carmelo Hayes.
Then
Carmelo Hayes, good deal.
And he faced Cena at Saturday night's main event, beats him.
Hey, I wouldn't put it against him. Like I said, Cena's the kind of guy that knows that you're building towards the future at all times. Yes, there is the now, but you're always looking at what is next. Cena has said that in the past. You're always looking at what are you building to? What is next? And I can see Cena wanting to put somebody over, someone young, like he did with Austin Theory in his final match.
Yeah, look how it benefited Theory, though.
Yeah, 8-Town Down Under, which is not a bad group, but it's just they're used so sparsely and just randomly. Like they're literally, they're literally.
That group has
go for it.
I feel like that group has kind of hit their peak.
Kinda. I mean,
what feels Grayson Waller is his last opponent?
I mean, that wouldn't be bad either. It actually would be. That would be some great. There would be some great back and forth and promo work there, and the whole thing would be like, Theory can be there going, "Hey, you got to beat him. I beat him. You got to beat him. I beat him. You got to beat him." If they're still together, because they've been teasing Waller and Theory breaking up for since February. So, give me 1 second. But yeah, I got a whole thing coming out with different things and fantasy booking John Cena's first storyline on his retirement tour. The plan is for it to drop January 1st. So we'll see how that all nets out. But as far as the show does go, CM Punk kicked it off. Punk entered and we had a nice big wide shot of a completely packed TD Garden in Boston. Like this place was packed to the gills. Crowd chanted for CM Punk. He told them, "Be careful, because some people might get mad you're chanting my name." He pointed out a guy wearing a New York sports jersey. Punk then admitted he was in a bit of a bad mood tonight. He told Seth Rollins 2 weeks ago, "I haven't been thinking about you at all." Yet, for the last 2 weeks, that's all he can really think about. He said it put him in a bad mood because Rollins was right. There was something going on between the two of them, and it was only a matter of time before they went at it right here in the ring. He said just because Rollins wore Elton John shades didn't make him Elton John. Just because Rollins grew up idolizing me and doesn't mean he's CM Punk. Punk said that it was true that he ghosted Rollins. But Punk wasn't here to litigate the past. He looked forward to the future. Rollins painted Punk out to be some kind of a bad guy. Punk wasn't denying that he used to be a bad guy, was a bad guy, might even still be a bad guy. And well, fans gave him a show of applause and what's the word I'm looking for? A good gesture, I guess you could say. When saying, you consider me a bad guy if you want, but maybe I do good things, maybe I do bad things. It's just who I am. He said there weren't bad students, only bad teachers. Rollins was Punk's failure. Punk wanted to give it one more go. We offered to give Rollins wrestling lessons for free. He says, maybe I teach him a thing or two this time. Said the last guy who went down this road, though, was Drew McIntyre. We know how that ended. Rollins had to ask himself if he was tougher than McIntyre. There weren't enough staples in the world to put Rollins back together when Punk would be done with him. Basically stating that he's going to beat down Punk or Rollins worse than he beat Drew. He then said, I know I can call out Seth here and hear a stupid music play and that dumb laugh. But what I think would get under his skin even more is the same thing you guys did for the 10 years I was gone. Whenever he had his TV time, you chanted my name. And that really got under his skin. So maybe we do that again. And the crowd starts chanting for CM Punk when eventually Rollins showed up in the crowd. Not dressed like the crazy, wacky, loony clown Seth, but more like the Messiah Seth with the black leather jacket and such. He was in the crowd and said, you know, these people love you. And I wanted to get a perspective from their eyes. And yeah, well, quote, you're still an asshole. Punk said he was glad Rollins didn't come out to a stupid song. Punk says Rollins is right where he belongs with the rest of the CM Punk fans. Rollins said he was not embarrassed to be a fan of Punk. Rollins was a fan, and this was his place. Punk wanted to die when he left, but Rollins wanted WWE to die when he left, but Rollins put this place on his back and made it stronger than it's ever been. Rollins had more WrestleMania main events than Punk ever will, stating, quote, that's a fact, Phil. We're going real names. And that was it. Punk jumped the barricade, ran at Seth in the crowd. Seth ran at him in the two-star brawling. They're yelling at each other. We hear a couple swear words slip through. And there's dozens trying to break these two up. They get them broken up, and they run back at each other. And they get them broken up, and they run back at each other. And this whole segment went about, 15 minutes or so. And it was great. I thought this was a perfect way to kick off the show. What'd you think?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I thought, like Seth Rollins calling CM Punk Phil, that didn't really pop me that much because, like, we've seen wrestlers calling, like, other wrestlers by their real first name.
Right.
Like Triple H, people call him Hunter.
Well, that's not his real first name. His real first name is Paul.
And we've seen people call him Paul before.
What is what I'm saying? But now he is Paul because he is now the executive at the top of the company. You noticed whenever he comes out and gets introduced by a ring announcer, they say Paul Triple H Levesque. So that whole thing with Triple H and his name, like the Hunter thing, that was his fake name. We're calling him Hunter, whatever. But now the whole thing is like when a wrestler calls you by your real name, they're trying to get under your skin. It's not like to pop the crowd. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it's more to be like, I'm going to call you by your government name to piss you off. Yeah, the Triple H one. The Triple H one.
Ms. Mike.
That's another one. Even though when he first started, and like, because the Tough Enough thing, we all knew Mike the Miz Mizanin. So that's another one where it's like, kind of like Paul Triple H Levesque. That's another one where it's not that big of a deal because we know, and they've called him that. So I'm trying to think of other ones. Who else do they like first, like real name? Sometimes to piss
Wayne.
me. Who?
Wayne The Rock.
Yeah, but that's different because he's now an actor that goes by that name, acting wise. So that one's different. That's not. I wouldn't say that one's the same. Same with that's kind of why when wrestlers call Ms. Mike, it's like, it does nothing because we know him from the real world before he was the wrestler as Mike Mizanin. Tough Enough as Mike Mizanin. So that's another one where like the real name doesn't do anything. I'm trying to think. Like what other wrestlers, when you like say their real name, is it like a jab at them? And I can't think of any actually. I really can't.
Batista, Dave, which I know it's a little different.
A little bit, but then at time that's a weird one. I get where you're coming from with that one. That's a weird one because A, he's now an actor, and B, there were times during the Evolution stuff where Triple H would call him Dave, and Rick would even call him Big Dave, even though it was always by the announcers, Batista. Rick would sometimes be like, hey, Big Dave, and Triple H, I remember at least once or twice saying Dave. So it's like, that's another one where that one wasn't used as like a jab. So I'm trying to think. It's like, I think it might be just CM Punk right now that I can think of. Like Randy, that's his real first name. No one, well, so in TNA, we did have the stuff where Christian would call Edge. Well, no, he's going by his real name now. Never mind. I was saying Adam, but he goes by his real name now. Well, no, I think we have had Christian in AEW or WWE once call him Adam. That was one. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't really think of any that they real name. So like as a jab, not just as like a subtle whatever. Cody, that's his real first name. Kevin, that's his real first name. Randy, that's his real first name. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. But no, I thought it was a great opening segment. We go backstage. We got Judgment Day there. Finn was very miserable. He got mad at the Judgment Day because they didn't come help him at Saturday night's main event when they were like, hey, we were confident in you. Plus, JD had to stay back because he had to stay healthy for your tag title match tonight. And maybe that's what you should be focusing on instead of going out and trying to do other things. Focus on the tag titles. This is Liv saying all this. And he got all pissed off at them, and it was a whole thing. So, Judgment Day, there's tension. There's tension. But apparently, the word is, and the rumor and the reports are that Finn's supposed to get some sort of a big singles push in 2025.
That's what WrestleVotes said because WWE's been really impressed with his locker room leadership.
Yep.
He deserves it, honestly.
Oh, 100%. Because
strap the world title on him.
I would. Especially since he didn't get that proper run with the Universal title, literally less than 24 hours. Think about it though.
SummerSlam.
Kevin Owens would not have been a Universal Champion if Finn didn't dislocate the shoulder. Kevin Owens wouldn't have won that Universal title.
I'm honestly curious to see like what Finn's world title reign actually would have looked like and like what the WrestleMania plan would have been.
Because think about it, and I don't think this would be the case, but sometimes we have seen in the past where one wrestler gets injured, they take another wrestler and just do the exact same storyline with that other wrestler. I don't think that's what they did with Kevin, though. Because I don't think Finn was going to go heel and then align with Jericho, feud with Roman and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know.
I think the original plan was Finn was supposed to hold the belt for like 6 months and feud with Roman. That
would have made sense. That would have made a lot of sense.
Like, I wonder if Goldberg still would have won the belt and faced Brock.
Well, that was a last-minute decision because Jericho has stated on the record, Vince told him, you and Owens at WrestleMania for the Universal title. That was the original plan. KO and Jericho. And then they ended up like match 2 for the U.S. title or something like that. What was it? It was WrestleMania 33. Fought for the U.S. title, I think it was.
Yeah, it's for the U.S. title.
Yeah, Jericho was not happy about that as well because it was, Jericho and KO, and Jericho was mad. He's like, oh, they put me in the goddamn second match of the card. You either want the opener or the main event. That's what Jericho always says. You want to be the opener to get that crowd hot once they're finally in their seats ready for the show to start, or you want to be the main event. He's like, and Vince put me in he said it. Vince put me in the goddamn second match.
Oh yeah, because the first match was AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon.
Yep.
God, that match was very forgettable.
And Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin for the IC title on the pre-show. Hell, Austin Aries.
Dean wasn't.
Go for it.
I bet Dean wasn't happy about that.
Right?
Or Mox.
Pre-show as the IC champion. Like, damn. That's the same WrestleMania John Cena
Proposed to
Nikki Bella because Vince told him to. That's the story. I don't know if this is true. Don't kill me if I'm wrong here. But the story that's always gone around is that John Cena was never going to propose to Nikki Bella, and he only did it because, well, Vince told him we want to do it for storyline purposes, and John Cena rarely told Vince no. That's the story that's always gone around. Is that Vince was never going to, or John was never going to propose, and he only proposed because Vince wanted it on WrestleMania. Think about that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's the same WrestleMania. We got the amazing sub 5 minute Brock Lesnar Goldberg match. That match was awesome. Brock Lesnar and Goldberg in a 4.5 minute match. Oh boy, the best 4.5 minute match you'll ever watch.
And the main event of that WrestleMania was Roman versus Undertaker.
Ooh, don't say that. Don't say that around Undertaker. He does not.
Undertaker hated it.
He said that was one of his worst. So go watch his podcast with Stephen Amell, the Stephen Amell episode. Stephen Amell brings it up, and he's just like, ooh, that's still a tough one to even think about. Because he said, I just wasn't fully prepared. My body wasn't in the right kind of space, and I did not give Roman a match that he deserved. He's like, that whole thing was just not it.
And that was the main event.
He will always say that. That is the one if not the match that he regrets the most, because he felt like he did Roman wrong and didn't give him the match that he deserved. So, yeah, I think like 2 people have brought that match up on the podcast, and every time he gets this look on his face, like, ooh, not pissed off or anything, but it's like, ooh, I wish you wouldn't have brought that up. That's a sore spot. Very disappointed in himself. He'll tell you that himself. Not just like, oh, we've heard he was just, no. He will flat out just go, yep, I'm disappointed in that match. And not because him and Roman stunk it up, all because of his performance and his ability in that match. So, I got a question for you. Have you seen this new Raw logo? Because they aired a video for it tonight on Raw that also was posted this morning on social media.
I did see it.
What do you think?
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I do feel like they probably did need a new logo if they were going to Netflix as a change. So it's not a bad logo. I'm not complaining.
We always see WWE refresh the logo when either they move networks or they announce, hey, big new rights deal. So it's like I want to say 5 to 6 years we see a new logo. And like the logos kind of stay similar and just change slightly-ish for the most part. But it's like this one, I really like it because I'm a kind of designer where I think simplicity is better. And so this one is very simple, but if you know what you're looking at, it's actually got way more to it than you think. Because the way, and I'll say this right now, the way, not that the Raw logo is italicized where it's got like an angle to it, but the way it's actually at an angle is actually really cool because it is invoking movement. Angled logo like that means movement. It means action. So that's what we're getting. High flying, moving action on Monday nights on Netflix. But yeah, I really like the logo. There's both the flat logo and then the partial 3D-ish, the 2D, 3D look to it as well. The 2 different versions. So I like it. I think it's really good. Better than that shitty, hey, here's the new Raw logo. It was shown off during the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. No. I told people from the get-go, that's a fake AI logo. Was I wrong? Nope, I was right. I knew looking at it for half a second it was wrong. I've even explained why it was wrong. Because there are at least 3 graphical errors on that fake AI logo. But I won't get into that. I think last week I did a whole breakdown on why that logo was wrong and bad and incorrect.
I like how you can tell logos if it's AI or like actually like edited.
I always have people going, they'll like send me something on social media. Did you see this picture of so-and-so? Within like half a second, I go, that's fake. That's AI photo. Because I just work with it so much, I could tell you 99% of the time within a second if the photo is AI or not. Especially if especially if it has text on it. That's the easiest way to figure it out.
Because I sent you a logo and you easily could tell that it was AI.
Yeah. Because AI's got a distinct vibrant, like a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times AI has a distinct vibrance and style to it that if you're trained enough in design, and especially if you're a photographer and photo editor like myself, it's very easy to distinguish if something is a real photo or an AI photo. Or what they call a oh crap, my brain just when you like take photo elements from real photos and put them together to then make it look like something different in Photoshop. And it's not called Photoshopped. There's an actual term for it that I can't think of for some reason right now that I actually just did for a soccer team project. Because we worked with my production company, worked with the soccer team, where we took photos of all the players on the team, and then we made it like we took photos of them in a gym, but then we made it look like they were on some cool, fancy field. Yeah, there's a special term for that. Now I can't remember what the term is all of a sudden. Anyways, Adam Pearce confronts Seth Rollins in the back, and Rollins said, Pearce, make the match. Make it immediately. I want Punk. Pearce told him, hey, stop trying to tear each other up and just let me do my job and talk to the people above me to figure out when we want this match to actually happen. Punk's like, all right. Or Rollins is like, all right, I get it. I want Punk. McIntyre then approaches Rollins. And this is where things get a little interesting. McIntyre reminds Rollins that he once told him to get over his issues with the bloodline. After watching SmackDown, it was clear that Roman Reigns was still the same person everybody, well, hated, except for Sammy, Jimmy, and Jay. And they all need to be taken out and taught a lesson. Rollins laughed and was like, you want me to work with you? Why, so we can be friends? Partnerships don't lead to friendships. But I am friends with Jay and Sammy because I respect them. I don't really respect you. Rollins then planned on doing something McIntyre couldn't, and that's beat CM Punk. What did you think of the whole Rollins Drew situation here?
That was pretty cool. I thought it was cool because like Drew had that big feud with Punk, and also at Mania back in April, it was Rollins versus Drew in that, like for the world title. So almost kind of like a flashback at the same time.
And McIntyre won that. Didn't hold that title for more than 5 minutes, but he won that match against Seth. Granted, you could say, oh, Seth was beat up from the night before, Roman and Rock. So I don't know.
Oh, I just thought of a great idea, actually.
Go for it.
So Drew won the world title at last Mania, but only held it for like 5 minutes. Well, what if he gets another shot at Mania 41 and actually wins the belt back and holds it for a while?
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I could see him winning the Rumble instead of Punk. I know my prediction right now is Punk, but I could see Drew winning the Rumble and then challenging for the world title.
Yeah, I say have him win the Chamber, actually. Be like, I have to go through that same route to get my world title back.
No, because I want Cena to win the Chamber. Because Cena's going to do I'm just going to go in here and win the Rumble. Oh, nope, I failed. I got to do it another way. I want Cena to win the Chamber. There's something in me that wants to see Cena not just get the easy road, but the story is that, yeah, I failed. You all thought it was going to be easy for me, but no, I failed. Now I got to do it. I got to try again. That's my whole thing.
Doesn't need
what?
Cena doesn't need to win to like be in a title match at Mania. I say
no. You did not listen to his press conference at Money in the Bank. Then he said that he will, because someone asked him, "Do you want to go for a title during your final year? He goes, yes, but I want to earn it. I will not be handed or given anything. I'm going to be like somebody at the bottom, earning everything that I get in this final year. Cena said it himself. Whatever he gets opportunity-wise, he wants it to be earned. That's why I'm saying he's got to win the Rumble or Chamber. And I think it's Chamber.
We'll see. I still stick with my gut that, like, in the Chamber, someone's going to screw him over and he's going to face that person at Mania.
It's possible, and then he gets the world title shot at SummerSlam. There's always that option as well. He doesn't win the world title.
SummerSlam.
He doesn't win in a Mania. He wins at a SummerSlam instead. Does Cena win Money in the Bank? And say, because Cena would be the guy that not do the, I'm going to cash in when you're down. He would be the one, like he did before, to say, I'm going to cash in on this date at this time. Just like he did last time.
I don't know if I'd go that route completely, but I would say, because reason why, because like Drew had that failed cash in last year. I feel like if Cena's gonna do that, win Money in the Bank, and say I want to fight you at SummerSlam, he's obviously gonna lose.
Oh, I just had an idea. This goes against everything I just said about he's got to earn it. But what if, and we don't know where Survivor Series is next year. What if Survivor Series in Boston? And he challenges for the world title there in his hometown-ish area.
And wins it and then loses it in his final match?
Or that is his final match. I don't think it would be, because that would be November, and I think he works one more match in December. But what if that's the thing? His final match, potentially, is for the world title, and he wins it. Because his whole year is, I'm trying to get the world title, but I can't get there. I'm trying to get to the world title, but I can't. And then he's like, I got one more match. And he finally somehow earns a world title shot. Because what if he says, my final match is SummerSlam no matter, or Survivor Series no matter what. And then he finally gets there at a world title shot. And he wins the world title in his last match. 17 time. Then they do the Sting thing where he goes out with the belt.
And relinquishes it.
And then Royal Rumble 2026 is for the championship. The WWE title on the line at Royal Rumble, in the Royal Rumble, just like 2016 and 1992.
Long road to predict, honestly, but we'll see what happens.
That's why the video I'm working on, the story that I'm fantasy booking, is from January to Mania. I ain't gonna fantasy book the whole goddamn year. Not all at once, at least. But maybe once Mania ends, I then do another quarter or whatever. And I like do 4 of these or 3 of these videos throughout. We'll see.
I know there's a YouTuber who like makes a lot of like predictions of like what should Cena's like last year wrestling look like, or he'll make like shorts on TikTok, be like if wrestling can like make trades, who would you like to see from AEW get traded to WWE?
Yeah, I've seen people do those, and I just think they're, for me, that doesn't like to think like that, to where it's like, that'll never happen, so why are we even trying to fantasy book that? I think those videos, and no offense to the people making them, I think they're stupid, because it's like, that'll never happen. Not in a million years.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it would be cool to think about, like, if that did happen.
Correct, but that's how my brain works. If I know it's something that can never happen, then my brain is not going to go thinking of, that's entertainment, or I like that concept. This is how my dumbass dyslexic brain is.
Hey man, just let people have their fun on TikTok or YouTube.
Nothing against the people making the videos. It's just not, those aren't the kind of videos that I would make or I would actually watch. Like I saw one today. It wasn't a video, but it was like, there's this guy on Twitter that posts the graphics of like, what if we trade the Young Bucks for, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a WWE tag team.
Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens?
No, it was like a current actual, no, it was, crap, I can't remember what it was now. I want to say, I don't remember now, but it was like, what if AEW and WWE traded the Young Bucks for, and I can't remember who the WWE tag team was, but I was like, that's never going to happen.
Is it DIY?
No, that's what I was trying to think, but now, hold on, give me 2 seconds, maybe I can find it.
There was another one I saw. It was like, what if WWE trade like Chad Gable for like Malachi Black, where they traded AJ Styles for Malachi Black.
Let me see. Hold on. Probably can't find it because I don't know what to look up on Twitter. And it might not have been Twitter. It may have been like Threads or Blue Sky. I'm posting on all those all day long. I'm seeing so much stuff on both. Yeah, I can't find it now. But it was one where it was like, what if they traded the Young Bucks for such and such team? And I was just like, because my brain, like, my brain for some reason can't think in like what ifs a lot of times. It's like, if I know something is not possible, then my brain just, it's just how I'm wired, I guess.
Okay, I just saw someone in the YouTube chat say, what if, or I think this is a YouTube chat. But okay, so you know that Cena never won the Intercontinental Championship or never had an opportunity for the belt?
Right.
What if at Mania he fights for the belt and actually wins it?
I mean, that'd be cool.
That now if he finally becomes that Grand Slam champion.
Right. Well, I mean, there are a number of things Cena has not yet done in his career.
He's done everything. I think he's done everything except for the Intercontinental Championship.
Never won the Intercontinental Championship, which means he's... Whoa, hold on. My camera just froze. Give me 2 seconds. That was weird. So he's never won the Intercontinental title, which means he's never been a Grand Slam champion. There's two things right there. He's never been in a War Games match.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to be in War Games.
And there was one other one that I saw going around. I can't remember, but those are three things, which two count for one technically.
Cena don't need to be in War Games. Like, what would be the story for that one? Like the Judgment Day, like wants to like be the ones to like brutally end Cena, so Cena's got to find a bunch of people to team with him against the Judgment Day.
I found it. It was, what if AEW and WWE traded the Young Bucks for the New Day? My mind was just like, that's never going to happen. So why would, what, huh?
I don't know if that seems like a fair trade, honestly.
Well, who's getting the better end of the deal then?
Probably AEW, because I feel like the New Day are like more popular than the Bucks.
On a grander scale, yes. But it's all because Bucks never came to WWE. New Day have been around for 10 years. That's the thing. New Day have been on worldwide television for 10 straight years. Bucks have for 5. And there's been a lot of times where they've missed 4 months here, 4 months here, 5 months here. So,
I mean, who do you think's better overall, the New Day or the Young Bucks?
In-ring Young Bucks characters, New Day.
I feel like New Day. I feel like AEW would probably get the better end because they get 3 for.
Well, no,
they trade 2 guys for 3.
It would be 2 for 2. It would be the Young Bucks for Kofi and Woods.
Oh.
I get where you're coming from, though. But you
said,
said, like, go for it.
If it was like completely healthy New Day with Big E, then
100%.
AEW for sure.
But then, do you then change that up and you go the New Day for the Elite, and then WWE also gets Kenny?
Oh, WWE would win that one for sure. Kenny, like I would trade anything for Kenny, honestly. A completely healthy Kenny in his prime, I'd trade the house for him.
I mean, Triple H wanted all 3 of them. Triple H also really, really, really bad wanted Hangman. I don't know about really, really, but I know Triple H wanted Hangman to the point where he wanted to make him like his next big project at one point. He's like, if I can get, what I was told was like, if he was able to sign Hangman in 2018 going into 2019, that was his next Adam Cole-like project. But it didn't happen because AEW came around. But you mentioned John Cena maybe fighting for the IC title at WrestleMania. We had an IC title match tonight on Raw. An 18-minute IC title match between Bron Breakker and Ludwig Kaiser. And about 90 seconds into this match, we go to a break. So, like, nothing happened. Bron was in control after the break, despite Kaiser's efforts of targeting his shoulder, which, did he injure the shoulder in this match or before the match? I don't remember the injured shoulder thing.
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, I can't remember the injured shoulder thing, but he sold it basically the entire match. So Kaiser poked Braun's eyes and attacked the shoulder. Bron hit a leaping clothesline over the announce table. It did further damage to the shoulder. Kaiser targeted it yet again and also poked the eyes again. Kaiser continued the shoulder, continued focusing on the shoulder. After a second commercial break, Bron did fight back with a knee strike and a strike to the right arm. Bron then still managed to hit a leaping Frankensteiner for a 2. Great move. I think he does it better than anybody. That jump to the top rope, hit the Frankensteiner, boom, bing, bing. Kaiser then avoided a spear and hit a Finley roll for a 2. Bron then missed a tackle and went shoulder first into the turnbuckle. Couldn't be good for that messed up shoulder. Bron then leaned against the steel steps. Kaiser did his little run around, but when he came back around, Bron was gone. He turned around, and there was Bron chasing him. Shoulder tackle on the outside. Bron then threw him in the ring, followed up with a gutbuster, and then a super spear that really didn't have as much mustard as normal, but enough to get the pin and the victory. 1, 2, 3. Bron Breakker is still the Intercontinental Champion. I wasn't a big fan of the shoulder thing because it's like, where the hell did that come from? But overall, I thought it was a good match. Wouldn't call it great or anything, but I thought it was a good match. What'd you think?
It was definitely a good match. I liked it, but now my big question is, what's next for Kaiser then?
Exactly. Also, I did notice a couple times they were like talking. They were trying to like, hey, what's next? What's next kind of thing. You could tell that there were times where they were like right next to each other. And you can kind of tell that they were communicating a little more than you normally notice in a match. And I think the reason for that is because the slowed down pace of the target the shoulder, sell the shoulder kind of thing. So because they were moving a little slower than normal, you could tell that they were kind of communicating a little bit as well. More than normally than you could notice. I don't know if that was just me or what. So then we got a very interesting segment in the back with the New Day and Rey Mysterio. The New Day bump into Rey, and Rey kind of gives them the Miz treatment. Rey blocks the door and basically tells them they can't come in. He tells them that they treated Big E so bad that they may not want to go into this locker room and face everybody. So you may need to go find somewhere else to change. And I'm like, what? Weren't they in the locker room the last 2 weeks? No problem? Or at least last week, no problem? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, no, I don't think they even changed. They still stayed in their same clothes last week.
Okay, but it's like, but
no, I think, was it last week they went into the ring and they were getting booed heavily?
Yes. Yeah, because the storyline,
they didn't change. They never changed in the locker room because they stayed in their same clothes.
No, I get that, but the whole thing is like, well, didn't they go? Wouldn't they have at least gone into the locker room to put their bags away before they went out to the ring? You know what I mean? Where'd they put their bags? In gorilla position? Keep them in the rental car? That would have been the funny thing to do if they had to change for a match. Oh my God, they need to do this angle with somebody where they're not allowed in the locker room, so they gotta go change in their car in the freaking garage. It's like they can't find anywhere to change, so they just gotta go change in their rental car. That'd be the funniest fucking thing.
Or they had to change in a bathroom.
That's a little. Nah. You ever hear the story about Miz having to change in the bathroom and a fan seeing him?
No, I didn't. I did not hear about that.
Basically, back in the day, JBL would not let Miz in the locker room. Like, they felt like Miz did not earn the right because he came up through Tough Enough. And he always had to find janitor closets or sometimes even the bathroom with the fans. And like one fan was like, hey, is that the Miz changing in the bathroom? Like one kid said it to his dad. Miz was like, I had to get out of there as quick as I could because I don't want people to know I was in the bathroom and then them like all come there at once to come try and see me or something or just make fun of me. I don't know. But yeah, Miz told that. I've heard Miz tell that story a couple times. I mean, that also reminds me of a story of my dad. He went to Home Depot one time and could not hold it in, so he had to take a dump at Home Depot. And this kid and their father go into the bathroom. And my dad was the only person in the bathroom at the time. So it was my dad in there, taking a crap. And this kid walks in with his dad and goes, ew, Daddy, what smells?
Wait, what?
My dad was pooping at Home Depot, and a kid walks in with his dad and goes, "Ooh, Daddy, what smells?" My dad's shitting in the stall next to him.
There was one time I was in Hawaii. We were stopping at a McDonald's bathroom to use the bathroom. There's blood all over the toilet seat.
Oh shit, murder.
No, it wasn't murder. It's just like little drops of blood. And there's this old guy walking in with his oxygen tank, just looking at the toilet. He's like, "Oh crap, I still gotta go."
You walk into the woman's bathroom? Was that that time of month for somebody?
No, it was the dude's bathroom.
Unisex bathroom?
No, it was an actual dude's bathroom.
Oh, well, then I don't know. I don't know then. Because I would say if it was like a male-female shared bathroom, maybe some lady having their time of the month. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what women's bathrooms do look like, but hopefully it's not that.
I don't know. But anyways, Ray said basically they crossed the line with what they did to Big E and how they treated him. Wood says that they didn't want to share a locker room with Ray anyways, then they left. There's a video on social media going around. I saw it from like random accounts. I don't know if WWE put it out or who, but it's basically the New Day going outside of the building where the fans were. And they're like, "Hey, who else come out here and greeted you guys?" And they're like, "Oh, nobody? Yeah, that's because we love the fans more than anybody." And they're like hanging out with the fans, talking shit about all these different wrestlers and stuff. It's funny. New Day as heels are really, it's been good the last couple weeks. As we go forward, they talked more about Saturday night's main event and the Cody injury here. We then get a War Raiders video package, hyping them up before their big title match and subsequent title win in the main event. This was really good. They spoke about how they were both severely injured recently and both thought that these injuries would end their careers, but they recovered, came back better than ever, and now they're ready to get back to the top. Judgment Day, they stated, tried ending their careers by cheating. The Raiders said that they're stronger than ever, and every day is a new day for them to gain that momentum, to get better, to get stronger, and to grow. And so, yeah, Eric talked about how he just had another baby. He held that baby. He thought that, his last neck injury could have prevented that from him being able to hold his son. So, very cool little video package here. This is when Adam Pearce then announced in a little interview with Kathy Kelly that Punk and Rollins will fight on January 6th. We think I Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley in a segment here. I'm not a big fan of the "Welcome to Monday Night Morgan." It just doesn't roll off the tongue for me. It just doesn't. It just feels forced. Monday Night Morgan. Unlike Monday Night
I get it.
Rollins. Like that flows so perfectly. Monday Night Rollins. That's like back in the day when Jericho used to do the thing on Nitro, and I guess on Raw a little bit too. Monday Night Jericho. It just never really felt right. But Seth's always did, because if Rollins. So yeah, anyways. I love Dom here because he's like, "Hey, these people aren't going to let me talk. They're going to boo me. I'm going to bring a megaphone." And he had a fucking megaphone, which was great. So he had a megaphone and he handed it over to Liv. She used the megaphone to announce that she's the greatest women's world champion of all time. She said 2024 was the year of Monday Night Morgan, and we're just getting started. Just wait to see all the changes I make in 2025. And there was nobody better to lead this company to the future than me. And out comes Rhea Ripley. Morgan tried to keep talking, so Ripley told her to shut up, or actually shut the hell up. She then said that I just had a conversation with Adam Pearce, and I'm here to inform you, I am the next #1 contender for your title. She said, quote, "I will be the new women's world champion, and all that you'll be left with is your little chicken tender slut." And she looked right at Dom. I'm like, oh, Lord. That's now 2 new T-shirts I'm making, because I'm already making one. I'm working on it. It's a chicken tender shirt, Dom, and now I'm making a chicken tender slut shirt. Like, it's going to be great. I'm working on more like wrestling parody idea shirts. Now I got 2 chicken tender ones.
Or you could do like the Terror Twins with like
WWE,
Damian and Rhea.
WWE's already got one, so I don't want to make anything that WWE already has. Like my, I'm a mommy's.
What if you did?
Because I have the one that's selling really well in our store. I'm a mommy's boy. WWE doesn't have one like that, so I don't want to like just totally rip off WWE.
What if you did a Damian Priest bisexual Undertaker one? Cause you remember that meme?
Yeah, but I always thought that would. I don't know how that would go over.
I don't know. I feel like you might get some hate for that one, actually.
Exactly. Plus, that one I would need to use his face, and I don't want to use anyone's actual face because that's technically copyright.
I think of another one, actually.
But yeah, now I got 2 chicken tendy ideas. Because I don't know if I would just put chicken tender slut or Liv's chicken tender slut. I don't know. Maybe I do both. Anyways, Jackie Redmond tried to interview Seth Rollins in the back. And all of a sudden in the background, now here's where I need your opinion on this one. In the background, all of a sudden, Drew and Sammy are fighting. Professionals come, they break it up, whatever. Wade tried to make it seem like Drew was coming to attack Seth and Sammy stopped him. I don't know if that's the case. Like, to me, it didn't look like Drew was coming to attack Seth. Now, if that was what the story's supposed to be, Wade would know because he'd be briefed on it. You know? But do you think this was really Drew coming to attack Seth and Sammy making the save? Or just Sammy seeing Drew and going, you beat me on the weekend, I'm going to beat your ass again.
Yeah, I don't know if it was making the save, actually.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know. That one I'm kind of torn on as far as what this was actually all supposed to be. Also, it is getting a little old in WWE where someone's doing an interview and like 15, 20 seconds into the interview, sorry, there's something going on over there, we got to go. And they just run away and someone's attacked, someone's fighting, someone's doing. It's getting a little overused on both Raw and SmackDown. Would you say so?
Yeah, I mean, it's wrestling though, but it happens a lot anyway, so.
But yeah, that's just my thing where it's like they're interviewing somebody, all of a sudden something else is going on and there's like, camera guy, go, or they all just run. And then, yeah, it's just getting a little overdone in WWE. Then we got a really interesting segment here with the Miz and Final Testament. So he's in the back with AOP and Paul Ellering. And he's trying to get out of helping them fight the Wyatts. And he's like, hey, great to have you back, Paul, this and that, but I think I'm done. I think I've helped you guys enough. Paul Ellering's like, I've saved you twice. No, you're not done. We still need you. And so Karrion Kross then comes up, and he was all mad about, you really think that this is over? You don't remember what they did to him or her? Pointing at both Paul and Scarlett. They told Miz, remember that guy that stalked you, Dexter Lumis? You need to do something about him. Next week, you should go talk to Adam Pearce about getting a match made against him. He goes, but remember, Miz, you've won 22 titles in your career. So we have faith in you. Basically what he told him. Miz is all scared, kind of, just walked off. Razor asked Kross if, you think Miz can actually take him? He goes, I really don't know. But I want to keep testing these Wyatts. He also wanted Miz to learn that you can't make a deal with the devil and back out on it. So Karrion Kross thinks he's the devil. What do you think of this segment?
Interesting. I mean, originally I thought it was. I didn't think it was done. I think the Wyatt Six are probably gonna go over in this rivalry.
Good chance. I mean,
I kind of like how like Karrion Kross when you said like he's the devil. Like, notice how like in every like Karrion Kross like rivalry, like the people he feud with and they end up like losing control.
Mm-hmm. Which is actually kind of cool.
Like, what was the first? Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
Ray. I don't know about so much Ray though.
He lost control of his son.
Yeah, but that kind of happened before that though.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know if that one really counts.
True.
Shinsuke,
Mm-hmm.
AJ.
Yep.
Who else? And Bobby Lashley, not really.
Mm-mm.
Bobby Lashley ended up leaving, so that one didn't really count.
Woods to a degree.
Woods to both Kofi and Woods.
In the end, yeah. Moving forward, they were talking about, we got the women's IC title coming, and Joe Tessitore wanted to congratulate Chelsea Green becoming the first ever women's United States champion. You know what she did to celebrate?
What?
Her and her husband went to Disneyland. They literally went from New York to the opposite side of the country, Disneyland, and celebrated. And she wore American flag mini ears at Disneyland with her belt. She brought her belt to Disneyland, wore U.S. flag ears, and celebrated with her husband, Matt Cardona.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy for her, honestly. She deserves it.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Did you see Matt Cardona was saying that he's shocked that neither WWE or AEW made him an offer?
He wouldn't have taken it anyways. He wanted to be unsigned on the indies, at least when he first started, when he did that stuff in AEW early on with Cody. I remember hearing him say something where it's like, I don't want to be signed to anywhere right now. So at that time, he probably wouldn't have anyways. I don't think. I could be wrong. But now, I can see it. I mean, he's main eventing the ROH show this Friday.
I think Meltzer said, if Cardona actually wins, he might be signing with AEW.
Well, I don't think they put the title on him if he's not. I don't think they put the title on a guy not signed to the company. That's just my opinion. And I think that's what Dave was getting at as well. If he were to win, it's got to most likely mean he's signed. Which is interesting because I always thought, especially with Chelsea there, which is not like hard and fast, you have to do it like this. But I thought, especially with Chelsea there, he'd eventually go back to WWE.
I mean, we've seen couples work.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like
two different companies, though.
Right, and that
doesn't really mean anything.
That's why I say it's not really like a rule, because Charlotte and Andrade, Alistair and Zelina. So
Morrison and Taya at one point.
Rhea and Buddy.
Well, Buddy, I'm pretty sure wanted to go back to WWE, but then Tony made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
100%. He literally told Tony to his face, hey, when my contract's up, I'm leaving and going to WWE. And Tony's like, well, how about I offer you more money than you could ever imagine? And he signed a new 5-year deal, I think is what it was.
Yeah, he signed a new 5-year deal because he didn't want Buddy going back to WWE.
Yep. And it's like, the money, you just can't turn it down. It was like the Good Brothers in 2019. Triple H offered them $750,000 each to stay. And they were like, we could go to AEW. We could stay here. It's going to be more money than they're going to offer us. So they signed. And then Vince fired them 6 months later.
Because weren't they going to go to AEW?
They were gonna let their contracts expire, hear out the AEW offer, and potentially go. But apparently, Triple H brought him into the bathroom on a Japan tour and said, here's what we're offering you. We need to know by the time we get back to the United States if you're taking it or not. Basically gave him less than a week to make a decision. Basically gave him a weekend to make a decision. That's the story that they told on their podcast, was basically Triple H brought him into the locker room, in the bathroom of the locker room or whatever, and was like, hey, we want to offer you guys this much. You got till we get back to give us a decision either way. And so they took it, going, we can't turn down that kind of money. And then they were on the chopping block 6 months later when Vince started doing all them big budget cuts.
I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman kind of got to his head. I think Paul Heyman was a big part of that.
Paul Heyman said that they weren't draws. At least that's the word. And fucking AJ was not happy.
Dude, AJ was probably the reason why wrestlers couldn't stream on Twitch for a while, because he was talking so much smack about Paul Heyman on his Twitch channel.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Honestly, the whole reason why WWE couldn't like wrestlers couldn't stream on Twitch, I blame that all on AJ.
I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, AJ also apparently AJ went and had a meeting with officials and others in the company and didn't stand up for trying to get them to stay allowed to stream. It was more of a, people thought AJ would fight for it harder than almost anybody. And he was more of the, you don't want us to do it, we won't do it. So he played their game. Anyways.
Yeah, I think a lot of people blamed AJ for it. And as far as the cameo one, I think a lot of people were blaming Alexa Bliss.
Fans blamed AJ. No one in the company that I know of ever blamed AJ. Fans were like, oh, it sounds like it was all AJ's fault. But trust me,
I think
there were times where AJ would go live and I'd make sure not to miss it because there'd be some sort of news or clip that I can pull from that to get big social media numbers. Because AJ was going to say something that was going to blow up the fucking internet.
Yeah, I think if you made like a $5 donation, he'll literally talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, no. And AJ was never filtered either. AJ would say anything and everything. AJ never was, because like you'd see some wrestlers on there going, you could see them contemplating, should I say this or not? AJ was just, you just keep talking and not even think. That's why I was like, I get that notification, AJ Styles is live. And I'm like, oh, I need to have this on in the background just in case he says something. Even before he went to Twitch, even when he was on Mixer back in the day, I'm like, AJ's live. Uh-oh. What kind of social media clip am I going to get from this one that's going to help us out? Because there was always something. Almost every single stream, AJ said something that was clickable and newsworthy. Whether he was accidentally revealing some news or talking crap about somebody or telling a story we never heard of before, it's always something. And I'll miss it. AJ was very entertaining in those spaces too. Not just like, oh, I want to watch because I can get a social media clip out of it. Well, no, I also enjoyed it because AJ, in that kind of just not being in character and not trying to cut a promo, AJ just talking as Alan Jones was very entertaining because he's a great conversationalist. Moving forward in a triple threat match, the women's IC title tournament, Zoe Stark picked up the win, and I was shocked. 9.5-minute match. I thought it was going to Raquel. But Carter wiped out her opponents with a dive early on as we go to a break, about a minute and a half in. As we come back, Starks was actually in control. Raquel set up Carter for a Tejana bomb, and Stark dropped them with a missile drop kick. They knocked Rodriguez out of the ring. Starks gave Carter a Z360 and pinned her 1, 2, 3. We only got about 4 of the 9 minutes actually on television because there was like a longer, it felt like, and I could be wrong here, longer than normal break in this match, but Stark wins. She moves on and will now face Dakota Kai, which, you know why that is interesting?
Why?
Because Dakota beat Shayna in her first round triple threat. So now Zoe is not only looking to advance in the tournament, but get revenge for Shayna. And there was a video that Nia Jax had posted on social media of her on that night that Shayna lost, getting ready in the locker room, and the PFC group are behind her, all kinds of pissed off. Not that Shayna lost, but that it was Dakota that beat her. And they're like, she's going to get hers, and we're going to beat her, and blah, 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 the whole thing. And so now, got the next step of that. Not only is Zoe looking to make it to the finals, but she can kind of get some revenge for Shayna.
I think Dakota should win the whole tournament.
I do too.
But who do you think will though? Like, do you think Dakota will win it?
Let me pull up the bracket.
Because I don't even know who's all still in it.
Well, that's why I'm going to pull up the bracket. I don't have the updated bracket from today. But let me see if I got. Oh, I could just do this. I might be able to find it. Women's IC title. Let me see. Do we have brackets? Okay, here we go. Kind of. Well, yeah, there's still one more first round match, actually. I forgot about that. So this is what we got so far. So as of right now, this is what we're looking at. So Dakota beated Shayna and Katana. Zoe beated Raquel and Kaden. They're going to face off. Lyra defeated Zelina and Ivy. And then the next match will be Kyrie, which might not be Kyrie because PFC broke her hand today. Alba and Natty.
I wonder who it's going to be then. Is it going to be somebody from NXT?
They could replace her. Maybe with NXT like they did with Jade with Lash Legend and the other one. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll go Jakar Jackson. But
I'm trying to think who else it would be from NXT.
I think Alba Fire maybe wins this match. Because we need a heel to face Lyra. Give me Lyra.
No Isla Dawn. No Isla Dawn in this tournament. No, she's hurt.
I don't think so, but she's not going to be in this one because they're not going to have teammates in the same match. But I think Alba wins, and then Lyra and Dakota win, and it's Lyra and Dakota in the finals on January 6th. They haven't said that, but I think January 6th. Because if we look at a calendar, let me pull up this calendar really fast. We have one. No, we don't have enough time to get to January 6th. It's going to be longer than that. Because we still have 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 4 more weeks. So we got 1, 2, 3. It would be the second Raw on Netflix that would get us to the finals. So maybe that's like a big hook for the second Raw on Netflix. We're going to, we got all this great stuff on the first one. But hey, next week on the second Raw on Netflix, we're crowning the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. So we'll see how that all does go. Remember, guys, if you want to get your comment, questions, or concerns read live on the air, you can do so on Twitch by donating Twitch bits or on YouTube with a super chat. So next up, R-Truth was in the back with, I guess they're still called American Alpha. Maybe we can call them Alpha Babes because that's what their new shirt says. But Truth's back there with them. Talk about how he wants to get right and whatnot. And up comes Pete Dunne, all pissed off. Don't call me Butch. And Truth is like, Butch, please. Can't say bitch. Even though he kind of can, but they don't want him to. And he gets even more mad. What?
You don't want him saying. You don't want him saying that. Just have him say Butch.
I mean,
instead.
but technically, you could say bitch on regular TV. Like you can even say bitch on the CW. So
you say it on Netflix. I'm pretty sure.
No. Bitch is a word that you can say on. They say that on Fox and ABC and NBC. Bitch is not a censored word. You don't have to censor that word. That is a word that does not have to be censored. So they could say bitch all they want. But the funny way for Truth is to say Butch please instead of bitch please. That's the joke here. Anyways, Pete gets all pissed off and gets in Truth's face. Otis tries to step up, so Dunn just leaves. Truth then leaves. Truth leaves, and up comes Gable and American Made. Gable called them all clowns and disappointments. He said, I turned you guys into stars only for you to ruin what I created. He looks at all of them, calls them jokes, pathetic, and says that Otis is the biggest loser of them all. But Otis told him to shut up. Gable said, you know what? It's time to kill my darlings and kill what I created. And I'm going to start with you. And he looks at Tozawa. Looks like we're going to get a Chad Gable-Tozawa match coming up here shortly. Don't know when, but eventually soon. So Jackie Redmond's backstage with a New Day. She says, you still haven't found anybody or anywhere to change, have you? And then she does the whole, watch they go, they're like, no, but, and then she's like, never mind, sorry, there's something going on over there. They run over here, and we see Pure Fusion Collective walking off from a production box. Kairi Sane is laying on the floor, and her hand is trapped in the box. They slammed her hand. These boxes, I've moved some of these boxes before. They're fucking heavy. The lids are heavy. Like, goddamn. Her arm and hand, like kind of looked like more on the wrist maybe, was trapped in it. So we're to think that they slammed the lid on her and broke her hand, wrist, or forearm. Damage Control runs up to get her out of it and save her, and Pure Fusion Collective all walks off all proud of themselves. What'd you think?
I mean, it's good for storyline wise if Pure Fusion Collective is going to be feuding with Damage Control.
Well, I mean, we already know it's Zoe and Dakota, so there's one match right there in this tournament that is Pure Fusion Collective versus Damage Control.
What are they going to do? Are they going to replace Kairi with one member of that group?
Actually, they could. It could be. Why my mind just go blank? What is her name?
Sonya.
Sonya Deville. Thank you. It could be Sonya. I didn't think about that. It could be. It could be. Because there's a reason. Because Sonya Deville is somebody. Think about this. Sonya Deville is somebody that I would have assumed was in this tournament. And when she wasn't, that was one of the names where I go, huh, interesting. Now I think this is where Sonya gets in. Oh, okay. I'm changing everything. Sonya versus Lyra. And then Sonya beats Lyra, and it's Dakota and Sonya in the finals. And Dakota wins. That's my new prediction now thinking about it. No?
I still want Dakota to win.
Oh, no. I'm still saying Dakota wins in the end. So, I'm going to play a video here. It's a little quick video. Well, I don't want to create a space. I'm going to play a video here. We don't need any audio or anything. I'm going to play a video here for you guys. I think we can all kind of determine together what this and who this is. But an interesting video played tonight on Monday Night Raw. We got it right here. It's a quick 10-second video. We'll play it right here. There's no audio. I'm not playing any audio or anything. Mute it just in case. We got this. Who wants to play? We got the smoke and a circle with a slash going through it. And then it flashes a couple times. And that was all we got. So we posed the question, who do you think this is? Immediately, my thought was, who you thought? Penta. So, has Penta made the decision to go to WWE without his brother, as they were originally planning to go together anyways? What do you think? You think it's Penta and he's coming soon?
I think it's easily Penta.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else it could be. Like, who else would have that 0 with the line through it like that?
Going from NXT, maybe?
I was thinking, but I don't know.
Who, Eddie Thorpe?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Wasn't there rumors that he'd go up to the main roster soon?
Eddie Thorpe? No.
I think who? Like someone currently in NXT.
I'm trying to think. I don't think anybody in NXT would fit that. It's got to be Penta. Because, again, think about it. The rumor is always him and Phoenix coming in, going straight to the main roster, the 0 with the line in it, no fear. It makes all the sense in the world. And I think he shows up on the first Raw on Netflix. And because they played it here on Raw, think about it. Also, SmackDown got the new guys in the Motor City Machine Guns. Raw gets Penta. That's what I'm thinking.
I feel like Raw could probably benefit from Penta more, but here's my fear. I just hope they don't do anything with him and in the LWO.
Well, okay, you're kind of getting at what I was about to get at.
Unless he's a heel, then you can have him feud with Rhea.
You're reading my mind. That is exactly what I was about to say. You can try to do
a heel.
What I think they should do is he comes in as a heel and attacks Dragon Lee, because there's kind of history there from like the indies and stuff. And then Rhea steps up and goes, "What the hell are you doing? Who are you? Why are you here?" But then you got to remember, wait, didn't Rhea and Penta have history in Lucha Underground? Bring that shit up. They ain't afraid to talk about other companies now. Bring up, and I'm going to look this up. Rey Mysterio. Cage match. Did Rhea and Penta fight in Lucha Underground or anywhere? Let's see, Penta. So Rhea and Penta, I'm trying to find just singles matches. 2018, they had a match in NEW where Rey beat Penta. 2018 at Expo Lucha, the Lucha Brothers teamed with Rey. No, that doesn't count. trying to find like against each other. Another match in 2018. Ray retained the Crash Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat against Bestia 666 and Penta. But where is Lucha Underground? Here we go. Triple threat. Penta Dark defeated Chavo Jr. and Ray Jr. Another one. Ray defeated Penta in a Wheel of Misfortune match. And then those really the only two. Yeah. Those are the only two matches they had in Lucha Underground. Well, singles match. Well, yeah, not battle royal matches. So there is a little bit of a history there where Ray, in the last two times they've met in singles action, Ray won. So there is that. Also, what? No, that's... Oh, no. That's Espanto Jr., who also went by Pentagon. Because I'm like, why are there other matches from 1995 where he fought Pentagon? But that's Espanto Jr. Not the same Pentagon. Anyways, so there is some history there. But yeah, I don't want him to come back or come in and just be in the LWO. No, I want him to come in. Granted, if he comes in, he's going to get that huge babyface pop in reaction from the crowd. But I want him to be a heel. And I think the best thing they can do for him is have him attack Dragon Lee. Because let me look up Pentagon on Penta Cage match and see if him and Dragon Lee have history. Here we go. I'm not seeing many singles matches, but a lot of tag team matches. We've got Dragon Lee, Cave the Barbarian Mystico versus the Lucha Bros and Daga. Dragon Lee and Roosh versus Cibernetico and Penta. Yeah, a lot of tag matches. Where it was like Lucha Bros versus LFI, Lucha Bros versus LFI. The Kingo and Penta defeated Dragon Lee and Dralisico. Another one, Lucha Brothers versus Dragon Lee and Roosh. So there is some history between Penta and Dragon Lee. Speaking of tag team matches, tag team titles are on the line. World Tag Team Championships as the Judgment Day were defending against the Wall Raiders. This is a really good main event. I enjoyed this 16-minute match a lot. Also, I think one more thing about Penta. He should come in as Penta Dark. So that way we know he's a heel. Come in, all black, like looking like this. Watch. Penta Dark.
Like how he was in Lucha Underground?
Basically. Like mostly all black. Have a little bit of the white accent around the eyes. Because in AEW, when he did Penta Dark, or Penta Oscuro as they called it, he was completely black except for the white on the jaw and the mouth. But in Lucha Underground, if I'm looking correctly, when he did... Well,
Lucha Underground. Honestly, Lucha Underground was like prime Pentagon right there.
100%. Because around that time, he also went on to win the Impact World title. He was also the Impact World Champion, too.
Honestly, like, if we're looking back at Lucha Underground, I would say Pentagon was probably the biggest star out of everybody.
Oh, yeah. No, the big three guys from Lucha Underground were Penta, Ray, and technically Ricochet, Prince Puma. Those are the three biggest names they had. Brian Cage really grew a name out of Lucha Underground as well.
Phoenix.
Jeff
Cobb as Matanza.
Phoenix and Jeff Cobb, more what they did after Lucha Underground springboarded them. Not as much of their Lucha Underground run, I don't think. Especially because Jeff Cobb was Matanza, and a lot of people actually didn't even know that was Jeff Cobb.
Or Mil Muertes.
Nah, that's just a guy from... That's just a Mexican wrestler who everyone already knew. Kind of like with Johnny Morrison, Johnny Mundo. He was already known for a long time. You know what I mean? So it's like... Because I'm trying to think. So like, here's some of the biggest names they had. Sexy Star, kind of a little bit from Lucha Underground. Because they had
There was Marty the Moth Martinez.
He was actually pretty big, but then as soon as Lucha Underground ended, his career kind of just got stagnant. He didn't do much afterwards. But Marty the Moth was one of their better stars. But I'm like, they had a good mix of already well-known guys and newer to the American eyes as well. That's what I really appreciated from Lucha Underground, is they did a lot of, hey, here's a bunch of guys you already know about, but here's some guys that you may not know about because they've only been working in Mexico. Like a Pentagon, a Drago, a Phoenix, a Sexy Star. So
And Helico.
Yeah. And Helico
I
as
thought
well.
Helico and Jack Evans kind of grew in Lucha Underground.
Jack Evans already kind of had a name on the American scene, though. So
Jack Evans, he fell off, though.
there's a whole big story about that. I don't even know the full story there. There's a lot there. But, I mean, if you really want to say, that kind of helped springboard Taya as well. I think you said that as well. Like, we already knew Johnny Mundo, John Morris, and Johnny Nitro. But that also helped, build up Taya before she had her great run in TNA Impact Wrestling. But as we move on to this main event, War Raiders are in control early on, even through an early commercial break, until McDonough used Ivar's beard to yank him down over the top rope as Balor distracted the referee. Ivar responded by knocking down both men with a handspring double back, and that popped the crowd. Eric tagged in and was in control until Balor tripped him on the outside. Balor and McDonough twice drove Eric into the steel steps, leading to another break. They worked over Eric until Ivar made the hot tag. Ivar gave Balor a seated senton, and McDonough hit a cartwheel kick. I wrote that weird. Ivar then gave McDonough a world's strongest slam from the middle rope for a near fall. They gave McDonough a pop-up power slam combo, and Balor broke up the cover. They went for the War Machine, but Balor dropped to the top rope and knocked Ivar out of the ring. Balor then gave Eric a sling blade and a drop kick. McDonough hit a moonsault, and Balor followed it up with a coup de grace, but Ivar broke up the pin. McDonough then distracted the referee, so Finn said, "I'm gonna go grab a chair." And he grabs the chair. For some reason, he's holding it like this, which is weird. He's like holding it over his head, ready to hit, even though he couldn't use it yet because he had to get back into the ring. And when he does, someone grabs it from behind, and it's old Damian Priest. Damian Priest prevents him from using the chair, and instead, Priest knocked Balor into the barricade. Balor rolled back into the ring. Eric grabbed him for the War Machine. They hit him with it, pinned him 1, 2, 3. We got new tag team champions and the War Raiders. War Raiders, new World Tag Team Champions. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was time to put the titles on them. We know Triple H loves them. And yeah, they're healthy, they're good, they're clear, and they're the champs. What'd you think?
I like it. I really do. I mean, Judgment Day, they did nothing with those tag belts. I think it was just time to get those belts off of them, considering they didn't really do anything with them. And I think the War Raiders will actually do some pretty good things with the belts.
Oh yeah.
Like, heck, give me War Raiders versus AOP.
Ooh. I mean, it would be an intriguing match. I wouldn't say it'd be one of the better matches they can do because AOP is still pretty green, but it'd be intriguing nonetheless.
Yeah, but they'll be working with some vets.
Exactly.
The War Raiders.
War Raiders, one of the greatest tag teams of the last 15 years. Daniel Monex says, was Chelsea Green part of Lucha Underground? I think towards the end, yes.
Towards the end, she was managing Marty the Moth Martinez.
I'm just about to look it up. Let's see.
She was the one that cost Pentagon the world title when Marty the Moth cashed in the Gift of the Gods belt.
Because that was right after her Tough Enough run, right? When she was on Tough Enough. WWE didn't sign her.
No, I think she was signed with.
Okay, no. So the Tough Enough run ended, and then she went to Impact, and then that was what she was with Impact.
Because there's a lot of Impact guys who were working Lucha Underground because they had that partnership.
Towards the end, correct. In 2018.
And that's when they had Karrion Kross there as the White Rabbit.
Yep.
Can't remember who. Honestly, season 4, I know a lot of people said it was probably the worst season. I thought it was okay. I wouldn't say it was great.
You're right.
Season 3 was the best.
I should go back and watch it. I haven't watched it in a while.
Hey, I really like Lucha Underground.
So did I.
I did. It sucks that it ended, but it was really more of like an actual like TV show than an actual like wrestling company.
Well, no, that's exactly how it was ran because it was owned and produced by a TV production company.
But like there was a lot of wrestlers who had their like biggest moments in Lucha Underground, like Marty the Moth Martinez, Sexy Star, Mil Muertes, even though he was known in AAA before.
Same with
like,
Blue.
Lucha
I think
Underground.
Blue Demon Jr. He was another one where people knew him for decades down in Mexico, but then he came up here and had great matches on American TV through Lucha Underground.
How about Drago and Aerostar?
That was another one that I mentioned earlier that we finally got to see on American TV, and Drago was one of those that really stood out for me. I mean, that's where Swerve Strickland became a name. Killshot.
Fun fact: Killshot was actually Moxley's favorite Lucha Underground character.
Yep. That's why the whole stuff with him and AR Fox and AEW came about, because they have their history from Lucha Underground. I forget what the match is called, though. What was that match that they did? That hardcore match that they fucking killed each other? Oh, there's a name for it.
Azteca Lucha?
No. There's like a hardcore match. Hold on, I can tell you right now. It was... I'm going to feel dumb as soon as I read this. I should know this.
I know there was like a sacrifice to the gods.
Hello War match where Killshot defeated Dante Fox, AR Fox. It was a Hello War match where they fucking
that's where AR
killed
Fox
each other.
Stood out.
Yep.
Son of Havoc, Matt Cross, Willie Mack, the Mac.
That's the first time I saw Willie Mack.
Same.
But with that, you know what we thought of the show. Now it's time to read these polls and see what you guys thought. As far as the Threads poll does go, 70% like the show, 30% thought it was just all right. Looking at the X poll, 83% like the show, 13% thought it was just all right, and 2% didn't like it. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 82% like the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. Looking at the YouTube live poll, 83% like the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. Almost basically the same exact. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. With that, guys,
forgot of
go for it.
Sorry to cut you off. I almost thought of another. There's another big name that really stood out in Lucha Underground as well that I totally forgot.
Who?
Thunder Rosa, Cobra Moon.
Oh yeah, I always forget she was that. I always forget she was Cobra Moon. Hey, don't also
a lot
forget.
Of people don't.
Jake Hager also appeared in Lucha Underground as well.
He was forgettable, even though he was the last
Jake Strong
Lucha Underground champ. Jake Strong, that was forgettable. Sammy Guevara, that was probably his first one.
Yeah, that's where most people saw him for the first time. I got the full roster pulled up here really fast. I know we're wrapping things up. We're hitting that 2-hour mark almost, but
we were like streaming longer than Raw.
So some of the bigger names they had: Ivelisse, who had actually had a run in WWE and then got released for what was it? She had like an attitude about herself in WWE, so they let her go. And she got picked up there. She's actually one of their bigger woman stars. Ivelisse was. I thought Ivelisse did some amazing work in Lucha Underground.
Not really doing anything now.
Not really, no. Aerostar was pretty big there. Again, Johnny Mundo, King Cuerno, Mil Muertes.
Who played El Dragon Azteca Jr.?
Tell you right now.
I think that guy. I can't remember who he was, but I know he did a few stuff in Ring of Honor after Lucha Underground.
Ray Horace.
There's King Cuerno, Santos Escobar.
Yep, that's who I just mentioned. King Cuerno.
There's Vibora, who was Luchasaurus.
Well, Luchasaurus was in WWE for a while and was literally less than 24 hours away from being a Wyatt.
He was supposed to go to the main roster as a Wyatt, but I think he got hurt.
Yep. Like, he was at a Survivor Series. They said, tomorrow on Raw, you're debuting with the Wyatts. You're going to become the new Wyatt. tomorrow on Raw. He was at Survivor Series, and then they realized, oh, no, you're injured. He was trying to, I guess, hide it or something. He told the whole story when he was on Big Brother. Conan was there, of course, Angelico, Tejano.
Paul London.
MVP did some stuff on there as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. MVP was on season 3.
Are you sure?
I'm looking right here. MVP says that his Lucha Underground contract was terminated at one point back in 2018. He was only in season 3. This is from Wrestling Inc. He says, in a YouTube video released this afternoon by MVP, MVP stated that his contract with Lucha Underground was terminated due to him violating the terms of the deal. He stated that he had interviewed members of the cast for his podcast, which was a conflict of their non-disclosure agreement. Yeah, everybody that was either, because this was a TV show. This was treated as a TV show. Anybody that was working for them or was in the audience had to sign an NDA before entering the stage, the studio. And him doing interviews for his podcast with staff members violated that NDA. I remember that now. Cobra Moon. I mean, Joey Ryan was a big part of it.
Yeah.
The old Justin Gabriel, PJ Black. I still, every time I hear his name, all I think of is the way Melissa Santos used to introduce him. She would always say, PJ Black. She'd always say just like that, PJ Black. I mean, it always popped me when Brian Cage would come out and she'd say from the 559, because that's where I grew up, was the 559. It's like from the 559.
There was Sammy Callahan as Jeremiah Crane.
He was big there. Taya. She was both Taya and Taya Mundo. They had what was it? El Torito. El Torito was in the final 2 seasons.
I thought it was the 3 seasons.
According to Wikipedia, he was in season 3 and 4. They had Dr. Wagner Jr. They had Shaw Guerrero, Eddie's daughter, Hernandez.
Yeah, she was in the last episode.
Yeah, she was on season 4, it says. I didn't watch much of season 4, so like some of the season 4 stuff I might have missed.
Yeah, because season 4, that was the season where they had Ray Phoenix as a heel.
Okay.
And they had him feud with El Azteca Dragon Jr. And Phoenix won, and then Melissa Santos ran off to find Phoenix, or she was scared of Phoenix, and that's where they had Shaw Guerrero be the ring announcer for Azteca Warfare. Azteca Warfare.
They had this I did not see. Wade Barrett was in season 4 as a character named The Lord.
Yeah, and his only line was literally, anyone else got any bad news?
Wow.
That was his only line.
Interesting. Yeah, that I did not see. But yeah, a lot of, for the time, some of the bigger independent names and even some former WWE guys and guys that went on to do great things from the exposure they got from Lucha Underground. I mean, I'm pretty sure being on Lucha Underground is what got Brian Cage to TNA and becoming the Impact World Champion and killing it in that role. So.
Oh yeah, they also had Ezekiel Jackson in Lucha Underground as well.
He was
Big Rick.
Yep, Big Rick.
Dude, he looks completely different now. Like he shaved his beard, and people don't even recognize him.
Interesting. I haven't seen him recently. Tommy Dreamer was in season 4.
Just for that one episode.
It probably was another TNA crossover thing, Impact Wrestling deal where they sent a guy over because Tommy was working Impact at the time.
Sucks that Ray was only in season 2 and 3.
So it says Luchasaurus was 3 different characters. Vibora, Just Judas, and Judas Devlin.
Yeah, in season 4, I think season 3 and 4, he was Vibora. But then they killed him off in season 4.
Using the Judas Devlin name is interesting because that was his NXT name. So I would have thought maybe that wouldn't have been possible.
Unless WWE pulled that trademark.
Maybe, I don't know. But that was his NXT name was Judas Devlin. But with that, guys, this is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, we'll be back live on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite Holiday Bash. That should be a lot of fun. I think we got Mercedes defending against Anna Jay on that show, and then Will Ospreay and Darby in a Continental Classic match as well. So that should be really cool. With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Luke, tell them they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at PetGear_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at YoungGrasshopperLuke.
With that, guys, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.